impressive. It's about to get a whole lot worse. Hi everybody, thanks for coming to the launch of What's Between. I'm Dan Bulger of New Island, and really we're just delighted to be publishing the book. I have a number of people to thank, and here's where the pronunciation issues are going to become apparent, so apologies massively in advance. Valerie Bustani, of course, and all the staff at the Irish Writers Centre for their part in the project. Renata, Virginia, and Misha of the Italian Culture Institute, who supported the book and were really lovely to work with, I have to say. And they're doing great stuff of their own, actually, and you should keep an eye on their activities. Cormac Quillinan, who did the wonderful translations, Catherine Dunne for her part in the programme and for being here tonight, Liz McManus and Federica Sgaggio, who did excellent work in helping us with this book through to publication, the Arts Council of Ireland for their ongoing support of our publishing programme, and lastly, and most importantly, all of the contributors. So thank you again for joining us, and I'll hand you over to Catherine and Federica to say.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Valerie, and thanks to all of you for coming out in this July, to share the launch of Lost Between with us this evening. I think if I had any idea back in 2010 what an innocent cup of coffee in the Gresham with Federica Sgaggio was going to lead to, I might have thought a little longer about accompanying her down the street. As it happens, I am delighted that I did. Not that I had much choice, because Federica is what we call a force of nature. And without her enormous enthusiasm and dedication, none of us would be sitting here this evening. So thank you, Federica, for pushing this along when at times it seemed like we were like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill. After that initial conversation in 2010, we agreed that there was indeed a great deal to be shared between Irish and Italian writers. And we got our heads together along with the board of the Irish Writers Centre here, particularly in the person of Jack Gilligan, with the Italian Institute of Culture and the then director, Angela Fangiano. And we put together what we called a cultural conversation. And it was an absolutely wonderful day where these two rooms were absolutely jammed with people who had an interest in listening to voices from other places. And that really was our starting point. And from that, it grew to what now you see before you, the solid thing that Valerie has just described, that we now have the solid book to show, I suppose, the evidence of all of our efforts down through the years. And I also must thank Dan for the beautiful publication, the beautiful production that the book now is. After the initial meetings, we decided that one of the most important things for us was that we would develop a philosophy of inclusiveness. This was not about being a clique. This was not about sending the same 6 or 7 writers to Italy so that they could have a bonanza every year and bringing the same number of Italian writers back again. We developed quite early on that we wanted this to be something which would spread as the years went on. And that, for example, those who went, as we did, we called ourselves, with no false modesty, the Magnificent Seven. Those of us who went first and experienced the wonder of Italian hospitality and endless help and support and enthusiasm. And wonderful audiences who sat through fairly lengthy translations in order to enjoy, and they certainly seemed to enjoy, what they heard from all of us. But we decided that every year the group of writers who had been to Italy would then form the basis, form the nucleus of the committee which would then establish the exchange for the following year. And in this I must thank Liz, who took over my reins on this occasion for 2014. And we had another Magnificent Seven. We had Liz and Noel, Afrik and Mia, Bill, Sean and Nuala. And each group paving the way and organising the next exchange. And as Jack has moved on to greater things after his chairmanship here, I also must pay tribute to Valerie, who picked up this exchange in midfield, as it were, and ran with it. And I suppose, apart from the inclusiveness, the philosophy of inclusiveness that we wanted, we also felt that fostering understanding between people through writing, which may sound very grand and very precious, but we all really believed in it, that this was something that was worth doing. And we discovered, as I think all of us do with any luck, that we have more that unites us than separates us, no matter where we come from. And sharing all of our cultural similarities and also exploring all of our cultural differences, I think was a very rich experience for all of us. And judging by the pieces in the anthology that we're launching tonight, it was an equally rich experience for those who travelled on the second Irish leg. It was also about writers' growth. And when I mentioned inclusiveness earlier, we were very careful that we would have both emerging and established writers who would take part in this exchange. Too often we hear the often justifiable complaint that it's the same people who get to go on all of these wonderful exchanges, and we really didn't want that to happen. We wanted to include both writers at the beginning of their career and writers who were mid-career. So long may this exchange continue in whatever form, because nothing stays the same. So however it changes over the years, I would like to wish it well. So congratulations to all who are represented in this anthology, both Italian and Irish writers. And my final note is to say that Federica and I had 4 very unexpected days together when the writing of the foreword landed in our inbox. And it was once again a privilege to work with somebody of such professionalism, such dedication, and such absolutely overwhelming enthusiasm. So thank you again to Federica and to everybody involved, and enjoy your evening.
Oh gosh. I'm not even able to speak Italian today because I'm overwhelmed by all these emotions. But, so let alone English, but in any case, thank you to Catherine and to all of us, all of you, and to Valerie O'Connor, and to Angela Tangiano, Renata Sperandillo, Jack Hart, Jack Pierkin, and all the Irish writers who came to Italy and met us, and it was wonderful, I have to say. And I would like to remember the first 7 of us who weren't magnificent, sorry. And first time I came here were Fabio Bussotti, Barbara Gozzi, Michele Curato, Anna Ansani, Francesca Capelli e Livio Romano. What did we find here? We found validation. We discovered, we found out that we could call ourselves writers. And each of us knows how difficult this might be for anyone who would like to write. And we found a place where writers could gather and find other writers and meet them and have chats with them. And it was amazing because we don't have such an experience in our lives. And it was great because Ireland, in a way, is such a small country, but it's kind of a country of possibility. And we experienced that. And we are very grateful of being supported by our great Italian Institute of Culture here in Dublin. And they were wonderful in assisting us in every possible way. And the second round involved here in Ireland Ida Ferrari, Gaia Cenciarelli, Luigi Grimaldi, and the, I would say, very well-known writer, Dacia Maraini. And we were proud of having her here in Dublin, and it was amazing, great. It was a huge audience, and we were very moved. And then, the same year, I forgot now what year was that, I'm sorry. We had Marcello Fois and Diego de Silva at the Bristol Writers' Week, and it was amazing. It was a great surprise to all of us that such a huge number of people were so interested in listening Italian people reading Italian words, and just for the sake of sound, and it was great. And last year we had, for instance, in Santa Agata dei Goti, where the Magnificent Seven here were as well, we had the pleasure of having a 15-year-old writer, Nicolas and Florian, who I love to mention it here, and a lot of people reading from both published and unpublished work, which was amazing, simply amazing. And then now the anthology. And I loved the process of following this work going on. And I loved Africa and her. It requires attention, a certain leap of your own, to jump out of one world into another. This is displacement. And me and her. What's it like now you're working for the enemy? Poem. And then all of a sudden, the twist. Working, she thought. Oh, that, not enemy, but working. And this is displacement. Each of us found out a peculiar way of describing what displacement is. And Sean, when Rudolph came across strangers, he hid, lay on his stomach in the bushes and wondered what it would be like to be someone from the outside world. And this, as we watched the Wicklow Mountains sleep below the horizon, our last sight of home, my little boy shouted out in excitement. Grief caught me by the throat, and I turned away for fear of weeping. And more, and his something will come to you in a dream that will help you find your way in. I'm sorry, I'm not even able to read my own writing. Abandoned place, yeah. And Nula and her, I thought sure he would look like me, Javier complained to his sister Frances, finding out in the end that there was a reason why Ludo did not look like him. And finally William and his. My memories were useless, and in fact, I was already forgetting. It would take me 30 years to remember my part in it. I think it will take me 30 years as well to remember my part in all of this. And thank you very much to all of you for being here, and I'm very proud to be part of this. And now I have the privilege to introduce you to Francesca Melandi, who's going to read her story included in this anthology. And she is going to tell us a short message about each of Italian authors present in this anthology. Thanks again. Thank you.